What's up, people? One Nut Punch here. So I went back to Sunkenland because yesterday, January 27th, we decided to look at the patch notes, and there was a 534 megabyte patch for the public test server for version 0.2. What they did to it is that they changed Radio Island, and Radio Island is now, instead of like a small rock with some buildings on top of it, it's now a big area, like if you were to go to Green Isle or even somewhere in Dreadville. This is a big kind of like mountainside area. You have rocks in between you, and then you have valleys and like a arena you fight with people that have guns. Before this area, you would go and fight in a settlement, and that would be from going from your boat to going all the way up, killing some more mutants that are like, I think the whole area is level 2. And then once you get past the settlement, you go up a rock like staircase. It has some torches that are lit up. Once you do that, you'll go into this area and fight. And after this, you'll be able to have another area that has a bunch of iron ore and copper ore everywhere. And then after that, you'd be able to go to where your boat is and then be able to get out. This is a vast improvement compared to the old Radio Island, which was just a small rock. You'd have to climb up to get to like an area, or like it had nothing in between, mostly just grasslands with trees, only to have mutants come at you with spears using like clubs and shields, and then maybe like one or two other guys would have a gun or a crossbow. This is bigger, it has more stuff to do in it. You got more materials to find, like wood, metal scrap, iron ore, and copper ore that you definitely need to make, of course, the different workbenches, such as the steel furnace or the copper ore, in order to make the bullets for the modern guns, such as the bolt-action rifle, the Glock or GP20, and the Deagle. So right now, I wanted to also talk about later that we'll be getting into when it comes down to the gun assembly, because there was a huge update that they did with this. What they did was they took all the old, like, kind of crappy, you have the materials, but you still need a shit ton more scrap, like advanced components, modern parts, all that stuff. They changed it to where instead of needing that now, all you need to do is take the gun parts that you get, put it into the gun assembly, and have it deconstruct and give you blueprints that you can go ahead and make now. Once discovered, and once you're able to make it, you're able to take like bare bones parts or whatever parts you need, such as steel bearings, or you need modern parts, maybe you need components or metal scrap to use it. Then you can go ahead and make the thing, produce the part that you need, mount it, make the gun, and assemble it. I was able to make the double-barreled shotgun, the Mauser pistol, and the, I think, bolt-action rifle. I also made an STG-44 and a submachine gun after I was able to do this. This is a huge improvement. The way that they were doing it beforehand was incredibly sketchy and super hard to do. For example, once you found the parts to actually make the gun, whether it be the sight, the barrel, or even the receiver, you would go ahead and assemble the gun, but you still need a shit ton of parts needed to complete the entire process. Whether it be modern parts, advanced parts, computer components, components themselves, metal scrap, it doesn't really matter, because at this point, now with this update, being able to produce the item that you need with the materials that you have, and then mounting it and assembling it, I'm actually having more fun now than what it was before then. And if they're going to add on with more parts, like more drum barrel magazines, being able to make more barrels for longer range, or having better sights, I could see this becoming incredibly fun to do. I mean, you've seen the trailer where it had the ACOG sight, and I don't know if that's something that they have in the game right now. I do see the red dot sight and the iron sight, but not so much when it came down to the actual ACOG or even farther than that. I do like still the gun assembly mechanic, being able to take the guns now, find the blueprints to unlock the gun part, being able to make it and assemble it, mount it, and then make the gun now is way easier than the other way, which was I find the parts I need, I still need to find all the scrap material so that I could use it to make the gun, make it, and then it's finally done. It's a lot easier to deal with level 4 and 5 people that are coming after my base, such as like the Marauders, the Warhead Tribe, or dealing with the, I think it's called the Storm something Vipers. And they'll come after you, and they'll have leather armor, metal armor. It'll be tougher to deal with them because they're just shooting you and spraying you with machine gun fire, submachine gun fire. It doesn't really matter. And because I have a house that's made of metal completely, except for 4 windows that are made of glass, I have to make sure that that stuff is protected so that when it does break, I can use my hammer to repair it. But now with the new gun assembly and being able to produce the part that I need, that once it's discovered with the blueprint, and being able to produce the part, assemble the gun itself, whether I put a red dot sight or iron sight on it, or if I want a longer magazine, I could do that now. And like I said, this is way better than the other way, because the other way was almost impossible. I couldn't even find where the modern parts were, let alone the advanced parts to find in toolboxes that were over by mine or even past Dreadville. And now that I have my guns, I don't have to worry so much about people coming after me or other factions, because I have like 1,000 pistol ammunition, I have about 400 rifle ammo, and then I keep finding shotgun ammo and barrels everywhere, so that's also pretty good. Mainly, these updates that I've seen so far is the gun assembly. They also mess with the loot bags. What they did was they put an icon above them, and now if you go close enough to them, they'll have a timer. Once that timer is gone, that despawns. The other thing I found was this machine. I don't know what exactly it is, but what you can do is take all the extra scrap and all the extra blueprints of the scrap that you made, put it in that machine, and once it gets to 200, you get rare parts. And I got maybe a drum barrel magazine, a like compensator, and then a high-end receiver that does like 50% more damage for an AK, and that's insane. Not to mention they added the user manuals for now the workbench, or the gun workbench, and this machine. Technically, it was the only way I figured out what the hell it actually did, so when I read the user manual and it said put blueprints and gun parts in there, at first I thought they actually meant the real like gun parts that you would find normally in barrels or chests, but rather it was gun parts as in you already found from putting the broken guns inside the deconstructor of the gun workbench. So I mean, that's essentially how you would be able to get the rarer parts from this machine. I found this after I conquered Dreadville and killed everybody in it. Once you get to 200, it'll do a production count. After the production count goes off, then it'll give you a specific part. And that's how I kind of figured how this machine worked. Again, the user manual was very helpful too, telling me that it does give you rare pieces and that you can get high-powered pistol magazines, armor-piercing ammunition, and so on. Basically, there were no patch notes for the update itself, so the only time anybody knew anything about it was if they went into the game, played it, and seen what they actually changed. For example, when I went in there, I seen that Radio Island was changed from a small rock to a giant, huge rock, and it was between the trader and the mutant settlement or mutant island that had like barricades everywhere. And then of course being able to find this after I conquered Dreadville, killing all the slavers inside of it, and being able to try out what the machine was. That being said, I've been One Nut Punch, and this has been another video. Thanks for watching as per usual, and it's been great coming back and playing Sunkenland, even though everyone's playing Palworld. I wanted to come back and always play early access games that I put a bunch of time into, just to see what's going on with them. But anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see y'all later in the next one.